Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be doing a 2021 simple yet aesthetic setup for a very budget-friendly bullet journal. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. All right, there's going to be lots of components of this video, but I will be doing some fast forwarding and some editing of things that just are repetitive, and I will not be doing voiceover, so I'll just put on some music when I'm doing it in fast forward mode, and then I'll come back and then sort of explain what was done. And I'm hoping that this video won't be too long for you guys to watch. Now, the first thing we're going to do is this is the budget-friendly anything journal, that's what I'm calling this, that I did make in a composition notebook. I'll put that original video down in the description box, but I want to cover the front of this, and so I did put some double-sided tape. Just to go really quick, this is what we did in that video. This is what I had done just to test out the waters, and then I'll talk about this in a minute. So to cover it, I find it's actually really simple if you just put down double-sided tape. Now I have the kind like this where you have to peel off all of this white stuff, and I also have this kind on the roll. For something like this, I find this works better, but this does work as well. Or if you don't have the double-sided, you could certainly use glue, but then you'd need to let that dry. This is just a paper pad from my stash. If I can find it on Amazon, I will link it in the description box. And I'm just going to choose 2 pages from here. I kind of like this one. And I like this one. And what I'm going to do is I'll do the front cover. I'm going to take all of this white stuff off first. There's no point for you guys to watch that. And then when all of the adhesive is exposed, then I'll show you how I do the cover, and then I'll do the back cover in the exact same way. So I'll be right back. All right, so all of the adhesive is exposed, and I just need to figure out how I want to put this down. And I can either do it that way because I'm not covering up the spine, or I can use that way. I think I'm going to put this in the back. And I think I'll put this down. Now I want to line up so that I'm flush with this and the bottom, so the only part that I need to cut is that. I don't cut this first just in case this isn't perfectly level in its construction. Then I just find it easier to cut away versus having to be really exact in measuring, because I'm not really good at that. And there is a little bit exposed here, but that's fine. If it becomes problematic, I can either cover this edge with washi or just rub at it and the adhesive will come up. And then just press that down. When you're putting your tape down, you really want to try to get as close to the edge as you can so that you don't want it lifting. Now this isn't going to be something that is going to be super durable, so I mean you will get wear and tear, but it's a very inexpensive way to do a journal. And just like that, I have a very pretty journal. Again, I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the back. It's exactly the same process. So once that's done, I'll come back and I'll show you, and we'll start with the 2021 setup. Okay, before I forget, I did want to cover up this back page. And in that first video, I showed you how I was tearing out some of the pages of this just because it's already going to get pretty thick. And so I'm just going to use one of those. I don't mind that I can see through it. I don't want to necessarily look at this. And so I just have my glue stick, and I'm really going to get in the edges. Now you could certainly use double-sided tape for this, but I find this works just fine. And then because it is already rounded, I'm just going to put this in. Like that. And there's a little bit at the top I think I need to trim, but otherwise it's good. Again, you can still see it, but it's definitely less noticeable than it was before. Okay, so I was playing around one night just to test out, and I had done this really minimal kind of bullet journal spread where all I used was a black pen. Now, because this is a lined notebook, it is a little distracting for me. So what I've done is I've put down some of the white paper, again, that I featured in that video, this here, and I just cut a little bit off the top and then I put it down. Now you can still see the lines, but it's definitely less noticeable to me than it was, and so that works perfectly for me. You don't have to do that if you are making something from a notebook that is heavily lined or heavily graphed, because again, I find even the graph notebook, the lines are really dark, but I find this easier for me to work with. So this here is going to be the cover page, and so I am going to use two Crayolas. So I'm going to choose gray, and I kind of like that green. I think these are be the colors, or maybe, yeah, let's do those two. And it's not necessarily going to be the color of the entire year, because I would like to do videos in this where I show how to do different themes in a year in a budget-friendly way, but it's just going to be something fun to look at to start with. Maybe I should do a ruler. This ruler I grabbed from my work planner, and only because it's small. I do have a regular ruler, but it's just a bit unwieldy. And we'll use this. And just do some little squiggly things right there. I know it looks like a hot mess, but it'll be okay. And that was from the tropical set, and this is called Palm Leaf, and this is called Tropical Violet. And this, we're just going to do some dots. And this one I'll talk through because this will sort of be the decoration for the rest of the setup, and then that one I'll fast forward through. Now what I'm doing is just making some more squiggles just to define it a little bit more. It looks a bit floral. I'm not sure what kind, but it definitely is simple. I think it looks quite nice. And it's fast. And I could add more if I wanted to, and I might, but for now I think we're gonna just stick with that. And we'll do some easy block lettering. And then down here, I'll put both colors. And I actually should let that dry, but that's where my name's gonna go. And that's our cover page. It's quite colorful. It's very simple, and yet it's very effective, I think. And I don't know if my pen is running out of ink or what's going on. I just want to thicken that up a little bit. Oh, as you can see, I made a mistake there. So let's just lean into that. All right, cover page done. I did grab a new one of these, and so it's this exact same pen. It's just, hopefully I won't get that skipping issue. Now, this was kind of inspired by two bullet journalers I've seen here on YouTube. One is Riley Autumn, and the other one is Reflect with Raksha. And so the first few layouts are definitely inspired by a video that I saw from Riley, so go ahead and check out her channel. And then the last two layouts are specifically inspired by Reflect from Raksha. So this is going to be the future log. And I'll just do some lines at the top. Okay, so I'm only going to put 6 months in here. I actually am not planning to use this, but I thought it'd be good to show just how to do the process. And the only reason I'm doing 6 months is because it's chunky and I don't know how long it's going to last, because I also have taken pages out and I've also glued pages together. So I thought 6 months would be good. And the way that I like to do these kind of calendars is, for whatever reason, when I'm looking at a monthly calendar, I like to start with Sunday. When I do my weekly spread, I like to start with Monday. I don't know why. And if I am writing it out by hand, then I will put the end caps and then work down the line that way. Just in case I do mess up, and I have done that in the past, then I'm really only going to mess up 1 week's worth of numbers versus messing up an entire month of numbers. And there are 30 days in April. Up here, we're going to carry sort of the same theme. but we're going to leave that center. And so we'll kind of do that kind of business. Again, we're just adding some color to the page. Makes it a little fun, but still very simple. If you were to do this in a more minimal style, you might not even want to add any of the decorative element. Or if you did, I think it'd be very striking if you did it in like blacks and grays, no color other than blacks, grays, and the white of the page. I think that could be very striking. And we'll just do some simple lettering. And just like that, we have a future log, and there definitely is enough space here so that if you wanted to, you could put this into different lists. Now, again, it depends on what you're using, but I could put an important dates list here. I could break it up into work lists, personal lists, whatever. And I think this definitely gives you a space where if you are pre-planning for future, or if things come up in the future, like doctor's appointments or whatnot, then you have a place for you to put it, because with the bullet journal, obviously you're just making the whole thing yourself. This here, we're going to turn into a bookshelf. Again, this was definitely inspired by Riley Autumn. Again, I'll link her down below. So it won't be the same that she did, but I think it'll be very interesting nonetheless. Okay, and that is the bookshelf. Now, because I did designate 2 different colors for this setup, what I did was I tried to make this look like wood, but very, very green wood. And so I did several layers so that there would be some different tones of the green, and then I did some straight lines and then just some squiggly circles. Added a little plant there. Again, it sort of ties in with the rest of our theme, and then that up there, and I think that looks really cute. And then this here is going to be a year in gratitude. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this page in half. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do 1 through 26 and then 27 through 52. Hopefully my math is right. Okay, so I didn't measure this correctly. So there wasn't equal amount of space, and that was bothering me, and so I just drew the line on this side. I don't know if that helped or not, but I'm gonna do, again, some simple lettering. Okay, and so I just did a little bit of highlighting with the purple, again, just to bring the colors through, and then I traced in the black, and then this I just colored in just because it was empty. There was no purpose for this, but that was a mistake, and that's fine. Now, this up until here has been definitely inspired by Riley Autumn. I've mentioned that. Now we're gonna go into the 2 spreads that I really liked from Reflect from Raksha. And we're going to sort of mimic the beginning page here. So we're gonna do something in the center-ish. And the same on here. And these final spreads here, again, are from Reflect from Rock Shop, and I really like these, and I'm going to look for a way to encompass this in a couple of my own journals. But I like this one because the year in gratitude are things that, or at least things, the way that I'm looking at this is that I am grateful that happened in that week. So you would just write something every week of something that you are grateful for in your life. But this here, this grateful about me, is something that you are happy about yourself or grateful for about yourself, proud of yourself, something that you want to improve about yourself, something that you are fearing. And the way that she is setting this up is she's doing this as sort of a benchmark at the beginning of the year, and then whether she reflects upon this on a monthly basis or annual, I think it's a really good landing spot to see where you are by way of a mindset in one point of time and then reflecting upon it in another point of time. So you could do this on a monthly basis, and I think that'd be really interesting. And these are the titles that she chose, but it could also be a gauge on your health, a gauge on your wellness, a gauge on your stress, and it definitely would be whatever about you. And then for the words of 2021, the way that she had done this was she had put down words that were positive and that would mean something to her. For me, I'm actually going to leave this blank. One, because I'm not actually using this, but more so, I think this might be, for me, a better space to put words as they come to me throughout the year, or maybe get into the habit of looking up just new words. And so it doesn't necessarily need to be like a positive word affirmation sort of thing. It's just words that either mean something to me, are interesting to me, or something that I just learned. And I like the aspect of all of that. Now, the absolute joy of a bullet journal is that you can start it whenever you want. You are looking at a complete blank notebook, whatever system you use, and you can make it your own. You can figure things out as you go along. I definitely would stress that you don't look at it to be something perfect or Pinterest worthy, although I'm not going to lie, it's very simplistic. It's very minimal by way of artistic. I think the color definitely helps bring out a pop of flavor to it, but it's definitely easy to do. And so I think when you're putting something together for yourself, use it as a way to create an experiment. And then if you're like, oh yeah, no, I really liked how that worked, then try to incorporate that into later months. Or no, I hated how that looked. Then just use it as a learning tool versus as a log of failure. Because I think sometimes that's what people do. They look at something and all they can see is the mistakes, when really you're learning something, and it's paper. So, I mean, push comes to shove, just turn the page and start fresh. All right, I will be doing a January setup, probably sometime in January, and it's not even so much that I'm not using this, because this is my anything journal. I did put it down here. I'm going to use this for anything, test out anything, but it's more so I want you to know that just in case, your 2020 or whenever you're starting your journey is not right at the beginning of the month, who cares? Start it when you're going to start it, and then just move from there. And if for any reason you start something like this and then you get to week 13 and then you don't do it again until week 51, that's fine. This should not give you stress. The setup process, the doing of it, it's supposed to just either make you more joyful, bring you some productivity or organization, or whatever it is that you are putting in your bullet journal. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. I'm actually quite happy with the results. And if you notice, I didn't pencil anything in. Everything was just off the cuff, figuring it out as we went along. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.